you, Madam Chair, and thanks to the witnesses. Like many other parts of the country, my district in New Jersey has been affected in recent years by harmful algal blooms. We've seen them in a couple of lakes in Morris County, Lake Hopatcong, Bud Lake, a bunch of smaller ponds. We expect they're going to reemerge this summer. They forced, in some cases, the temporary closure of lakes and ponds to recreation, to swimming, to boating, put an added strain on local economies that are dependent, particularly in the summer, on those activities. And of course, toxins from HABs can also harm drinking water treatment, also contaminate drinking water treatment facilities, as I'm sure you are all aware. The most recent WRDA bill that was signed into law
Is Mr. Mass returned?
Created a demonstration program to detect, prevent, treat, and eliminate these HABs associated with water resources development projects. And New Jersey was designated as a focus area for the program, which is good news for us, but there's a lot more work to be done. We know that both wastewater discharge and climate change are contributing factors. And we're working to address both of those in this committee. Ms. Hammer, I wanted to see if you might be willing to address this question and let us know what are some of NRDC's recommendations to Congress on how best to address the problem, what strategies should be adopted at the state and local level to treat outbreaks. Are there any research gaps that still need to be closed? What more can we do?
Thanks for the question. So we know that nutrient pollution is the primary driver of harmful algal blooms, and that nutrients come from both agricultural sources like animal manure and fertilizers, as well as urban runoff, sewer system discharges, wastewater treatment facility discharges. NRDC actually has a website dedicated to this issue that tracks how well states are monitoring algal blooms and reports that information to the public. So I would encourage anyone to check that out who is interested in how their state and local government are managing this issue. As you said, we also know that climate change makes algal blooms worse between rising temperatures, more intense precipitation. In terms of solutions, a lot of the things we're talking about today, green infrastructure can be a really important tool in reducing nutrient runoff from the urban environment. So can wetlands preservation, ensuring that wetlands are fully protected by the Clean Water Act, since wetlands can filter out the kinds of nutrients that cause algal blooms, as well as water conservation, making sure we're not withdrawing too much water from water bodies, because when they get stagnant, that's one condition in which algal blooms can occur. Congress can help with all this by increasing funding for water infrastructure, especially green projects, so that communities can implement projects that reduce nutrient pollution.
Great, thank you. So switching gears a bit, we all know that foreign adversaries of the United States use cyber operations to try to damage physical and digital infrastructure in our country. And earlier this year, as I know you're all aware, a water treatment plant in Oldsmar, Florida was hacked. And the intruders attempted to dramatically increase the amount of sodium hydroxide in the water treatment process. It was a near miss that could have proved catastrophic. A lot of experts have testified to us to this. Former CISA Director Chris Krebs, cybersecurity experts from the FBI and other agencies. Every state has been a target to some degree. In New Jersey, our statewide IT system faces actually millions of attempted cyber attacks every single day, according to our State Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. So I'd maybe pose this to some of the state and local representatives and ask you all, how are you working to secure your systems against intrusions? Do you have the personnel and resources you need? Anything else that you would want to share with us in terms of how the federal government can do more to help?
Representative Malinowski, this is Keisha Powell, if I may. DC Water, and you know, we certainly looked at the incident in Florida and did another assessment on our systems. We're continuously monitoring. We are fortunate enough to have cybersecurity personnel that are constantly monitoring our systems, which are critical systems in our distribution system and wastewater treatment process. That also takes additional funding to maintain that infrastructure and to make sure that we're resilient against any potential attacks. As the former commissioner of the City of Atlanta's Department of Watershed Management, had to live through managing that system through the attack in early 2018 that the City of Atlanta experienced. So I would say that this is a very critical issue for all wastewater systems that certainly need to have the appropriate funding to make sure that we can not only hire the right people, but also have the right systems and security measures in place.